Thom Hartmann here on the best of the rest of economic and labor news. You need to know this. The too big to jail banks may have gotten away with even more crimes than we thought. According to new details exposed in the so-called biggest bank leak in history, HSBC helped their clients shield billions of dollars in assets from taxes in their home countries. Not only did that client list include prominent U.S. sports stars, film directors, huge hedge fund managers, and major political donors, but our government has known about all this tax dodging since 2010. The Guardian newspaper says that the leaked HSBC data was shared with regulators 5 years ago, but so far we haven't seen one single bankster go to jail over this illegal activity. These leaked documents show that HSBC regularly allowed clients to withdraw bricks of $100,000 in cash, marketed tax avoidance schemes to wealthy clients, colluded with clients to conceal hidden bank accounts, and the bank provided accounts to known criminals. But 5 years after finding out about it, there hasn't been a single HSBC official put on trial. In fact, even after HSBC got caught laundering money for Mexican drug cartels, the banksters were able to buy their way out of those crimes for a couple $1 billion. Apparently, too big to fail does not only mean too big to jail, it also means HSBC is too big to prosecute. Sure, a few of their HSBC's U.S. clients have been prosecuted for criminal tax evasion, but the bank that helped them pull it off, they're still open for business. How many times does one company get to break the law before they're really held accountable? Is there any crime they can't simply buy their way out of? We have a few great lawmakers like Senators Sherrod Brown, Elizabeth Warren, and Bernie Sanders who are asking these tough questions, but every single elected representative should be. No corporation or bank should be immune from prosecution, and it's time to make too big to fail mean too big to exist. According to billionaire Nick Hanauer, stock buybacks are killing our economy. In a recent piece over at The Atlantic, Mr. Hanauer says that in the last year alone, corporations spent about $700 billion propping up their stock prices by buying back shares of their own stock. In past decades, all the profit would have been spread throughout the economy in the form of higher wages, increased investment in plants and equipment, payment taxes, and through the indirect jobs and benefits that resulted from all those activities. Today, corporations skimp on wages and benefits, avoid paying taxes, invest in plants overseas instead of at home, and buy back their own stock to jack up the share price. It's just one more way that corporations funnel billions in profits to the rich and claim that there's no money left over to give their workers a raise. Thankfully, some are saying that it's time for a change. In his article, Mr. Hanauer said, if business leaders hope to maintain broad public support for business, they must acknowledge that the purpose of a corporation is not to enrich the few, but to benefit the many. Hopefully, business leaders are listening. If we want to fight inequality, we should fight for single-payer health care. According to Margaret Chan, the head of the World Health Organization, universal health coverage is one of the most powerful social equalizers among all policy options. It is the ultimate expression of fairness, she said. And some of our lawmakers say that taking the profit motive out of health care may be the only way to fix our broken system. Despite the benefits of the Affordable Care Act, that new law still leaves far too many Americans locked out of the system. Millions of people fall through the cracks because their largely Republican governors won't expand Medicaid, or because the corporate executives in charge of their health care find new ways to screw their customers. To fix these problems, Representative John Conyers introduced the Expand and Improved Medicare for All Act, which would provide health care to everyone and help fight extreme inequality. We can help make economic and health care fairness a reality by supporting John Conyers' legislation right now. Nothing is safe from Governor Sam Brownback's budget cuts, well, except for tax breaks for the rich, of course. In order for the state to pay its bills in the wake of a $344 million budget shortfall, Brownback slashed the normal Republican targets like education and pensions. But that wasn't enough. He then had to slash the state's prized highway system to make ends meet and keep billionaire taxes low. That move isn't likely to play out well with the governor's rural supporters, and it even drew criticism from pro-austerity state lawmakers. State Senator Forrest Knox, one of the most conservative members of the legislature, said, when I send out surveys and say, what are the roles of government, and this is not just my district, roads are generally at the top of the list. It appears that Kansas Republicans are finally recognizing that Sam Brownback's massive tax cuts on rich people make it pretty damn hard to govern. Perhaps now they will wake up and put a stop to this budget nightmare before it gets any worse for the rest of the people of Kansas. And finally, a father-son team in Florida is proving that people with autism are often excellent employees. John DeArie and his son Tom originally opened the Rising Tide Car Wash to provide work for John's other son, Andrew, who happens to be autistic. After researching employment options for people on the spectrum, John learned that there are very few resources and opportunities for adults with autism. So they set out to change that. They decided that a car wash was a great fit for work for autistic individuals who often work better in environments that require repetition. The Rising Tide Car Wash, which is already looking to expand, provides a great way to show the world that individuals with autism are unique and wonderful people. And that's the way it is for the week of February 16th, 2015. I'm Thom Hartmann on the Economic and Labor News.